Hi guys, Rosstafa here, and I'm back with another Evolve video. This is the latest monster to have been added to Evolve, the Behemoth. This was added last week, and it's essentially the big tanky class of monster in Evolve at the moment. It's even tougher than the Goliath in terms of sheer health and armor to burn through. This is the sort of guy that you really want to catch up with as quickly as possible as a hunter, because the longer he's up, the more armor he's going to get, the more he's going to evolve, and he's just going to be really difficult to deal with if he gets to stage 3. So you really want to catch this guy as early as possible, get his health as low as you can, and stop him from regenerating his armor, especially later on, because he'll just soak up so much damage. But so yeah, I've been playing the Behemoth a little bit, and it certainly has a very different style to the other monsters. The one noticeable thing about this guy is he can't actually jump. Instead, his sort of movement, whereas the Wraith teleports, the Goliath jumps, and the Kraken flies, the Behemoth actually rolls. He turns into sort of a boulder and rolls away, and it actually does damage to anything in its path. So it's really good at escaping. As you can see, I'm doing that here, because it'll just sort of knock enemies and creatures out of the way, and you can get out quite quickly, and it also sort of gives you a couple of seconds because it'll stun them and knock them back. So it's really good way of escaping. The other good thing is you can obviously run through creatures and sort of double back maybe and eat them after you've managed to shake the hunters off. Because doubling back is quite a good thing to do, because obviously quite often they won't expect you to go back on yourself. So it's one thing that's worth trying. This is kind of a risky evolve, but I did it anyway. I want to get into stage 3 as quickly as possible. Now, the Behemoth's abilities are all about controlling where your enemies are and trying to keep them close to you. So you've got a lava bomb, which is your sort of close quarters AoE ability, and that basically shoots a ball of lava at your target. But then that ball then explodes into 3 smaller ones, which then sort of shoot out everywhere. So it's quite high damage and it splashes around. So that's the sort of thing you want to use up close, because it's quite hard to aim it. It's not like a lightning strike on the Kraken where you can aim it while you're charging it up. It basically, as soon as you sort of hit it, providing you don't cancel it, that's where it's going to land. So it's quite easy to avoid as a hunter, unless you're like limited in terms of space. So what I like to do is try and force the hunters into a small confined area, and then use lava bomb because they just can't avoid it. The other one is sort of a tongue grab ability. This one is a little tricky to use. You basically shoot your tongue out at someone and pull them towards you. It's not like the abduction ability on the Wraith. It doesn't sort of pull them right towards you. It just sort of grabs them, pulls them, and they sort of fly towards you a little bit with their momentum, but they won't fly all the way towards you. It's not too overpowered, but what's quite cool is if you time it quite well, you can sort of punch them back to where they came from. But it's quite good. So the other ability, there's also sort of a shockwave sort of ability where you just shoot a ripple of earth out in front of you, and that just does damage to anyone standing in it. But the main ability that sort of differs the Behemoth from the other classes is Rock Wall, I believe it's called. And it does pretty much that. It makes a wall of rock that's really high enough that a hunter would need a full jetpack to get over it. And it basically lasts about 8 seconds maybe. And it's really good because essentially you can separate one hunter from the rest of the group, or if you're trying to make an escape, you can block an exit off so that they can't follow you for a few seconds. That's the lava bomb there. You can see it splashing into a few more. And there's my rock wall, so if they do chase after me, that'll be there for a few seconds, and it just sort of gives me some time, and it also shields you from fire as well. But say I was going into a cave like this and the hunters were right behind me, what I might do is wait for a second and then use the rock wall in between the hunters so that one of them gets separated from the others, and then what you can do there is you've got about 8 seconds or so just damaging that hunter and killing them as much as possible before the other ones can even reach them. So that's a really good thing to do if you want to separate one hunter from the others, because the Behemoth does a lot of damage, but it's not as mobile as the other creatures, of the other monsters. So you really want to sort of pick your moments, try and get close quarters, fighting out in the open isn't really a good idea because they're going to be jumping around and stuff, and because you can't jump, it's quite hard to pick people off. You can climb, you just can't jump, so it's going to be a little trickier to sort of get people in mid-air or while they're flying and landing up on tall structures. Don't roll everywhere, it does actually create a sort of path that hunters can follow. So you still need to sneak as the Behemoth. It's still just as vital as the other monster classes. One thing I haven't mentioned in the other videos is when a monster has it sort of turns a bit red or sort of golden like this, it means that they've got full armor. I think that's just sort of visual sort of cue for the hunters to know what they're dealing with. The roll does have sort of a charge on it. You can see there it's run out. It's just like the jump or anything like that. It lasts a certain amount of time and then it cancels and you have to wait for it to charge back up again. So on stage 2 I've got full armor. I've not lost any health yet, so I'm in a really good state at the moment. I just need to sort of keep on the run. This guy's managed to catch me, but he's on his own. Again, the good thing is I can just sort of knock things out of the way and do a bit of damage to them while I escape, so it's pretty useful like that. The longer the distance you go without being interrupted by things, say like getting caught on something, the faster you go while rolling, so you can gain up quite a bit of momentum if you go in sort of a long straight line. Remember to always use water and rivers and stuff so that you don't leave prints and you don't actually have to sneak, so you can move a bit faster. I just do it out of force of habit here. But not long and I'll be able to get to stage 3, but these guys are closing in, so I need to be a bit careful. A good thing to do is to go through areas that are either close quarters or have other monsters like that. I think that's a crowbill sloth, I think they're called. Because the hunters are potentially going to get attacked by that and that's going to slow them down a little bit. Or maybe it will have a buff and you can let the hunters get that. Because even though they get a buff, you can possibly survive until their buffs run out. Or, you know, you can just concentrate on evolving, which is just as useful. Yeah, I'm coming back and getting some things I killed on the way before. So that's why it's so good to double back, because otherwise you're just wasting time killing new things. Doesn't seem to be anyone near, so even though I'm quite out in the open, it should be safe to evolve at this point. So Lava Bomb for me is the most useful ability, followed by Rock Wall. But Fissure's pretty good because it knocks people back as well, so that's good for giving you a little bit of breathing room. But this guy's all about AoE damage and sort of getting your targets into a close space. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my armor and then I'm going to find a nice little place to lure the hunters in and just kill them off basically. You want to try and fight them on your terms, so think about what monster you're playing, what their strengths are, and where the best place on every map is to encounter them. This place would be pretty good because as you can see, it's quite close quarters. There's no high structures that the hunters can climb up on and shoot down from me, so I won't have to climb up to get them or anything like that. It's going to be very hard for them to avoid Lava Bomb and things like that, so ideally once I've got full armor, that's where I want to go. Some birds have come down, so I need to sort of move away from here fairly quickly. You want to keep smelling as often as possible so you can keep track of where the hunters are. You don't want to get bitten in the arse while you're still trying to regenerate your armor up. This guy's pretty strong, he's quite nasty. I would say like the other monsters you can possibly get away with like letting a Kraken or a Goliath get to stage 3. Possibly the Wraith, now it's been nerfed a little bit. But the Behemoth, like, if it's a good player, you're going to have a very hard time once it gets to stage 3 and it's got full armor. You're just going to have so much to burn through and it's going to be quite difficult. So now, I know they've got Daisy, they've got Maggie as their support, not their support, their tracker, so they're going to find me. I don't really have to go too far to do that, but She's run ahead, which is a big mistake because now I can pick her off. And that just takes one hunter out of the equation already. That's one of the damage classes. Because obviously with the support, they're going to be focusing on keeping their assault alive. Whereas once you track the monster, the tracker can just concentrate on killing them or keeping the arena up. So now it's one down. Get rid of Daisy so she's not going to be rezzing any of the hunters while I'm doing my thing. But I want to get some armor back. I've killed one of them, so even if they res her, she's going to have one strike against her revive, so she's going to have less health when she does come back. There's my rock wall, so that's separated him for a minute. He's trying to get through, but I'm going to use my lava bomb and knock him back a bit. It's all about controlling where they are. So they've not even managed to get through my health yet, so I'm just going to try and get some more armor. And it's good. Don't rush to try and get the kill as soon as you get to stage 3, because every time you do knock a hunter down, like I said, they're going to get strike, which means that they'll lose a little bit of health the next time they get revived. So, you know, if a hunter has 100% health and they die, or they go down, when they get revived, they'll have 75% health as their max amount of health. So they'll die a lot quicker. So you won't really need to worry about them getting revived too much. And then the second time they get rezzed, they actually just die outright. You can see here my melee attacks are doing so much damage, and there's a lava bomb there. I've knocked another one down. I think that's Maggie again. I think this is the healer. She's the medic. Sorry, she's off on her own. But she's the one that we want to get rid of as quickly as possible. So we're gonna knock her out. It's 2 down. Just one more to go. These guys are on the floor, so they're still shooting me with their pistols, but it's a tiny amount of damage. Even with a shield, he's going to go down. He's not going to last long. There's no way he's getting out of this. And there you go. That's the Behemoth. I hope you liked the video, guys. I'll put more videos out of the hunter classes soon. Thanks for watching.